So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hiban. Okay, Rockstar Nation, I have a great guest coming from Cleveland, Ohio. I got Rebecca Donatelli on the line, and she is killing it out there, is the Instagram queen, and she's getting a lot of stuff written up about her. She writes a lot herself, and we're going to dig deep down into all things real estate, all things social media, and have a good conversation here. So, Rebecca, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me today.
My pleasure. Hey, Rebecca, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself so they get to know you better?
Sure, absolutely. So I've been in the business just over 2.5 years. I went to John Carroll University here in Cleveland. I actually still live right around the corner. Went to college to be a high school math teacher and realized that was just not my thing. After that, I was a store manager. Well, I was a store manager in college, and then I continued after I graduated. Still trying to figure out where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to be in sales, but retail was just not for me either. Between that and real estate, I worked at an insurance company for 5 months and did not like it. I took 3 months off, and that's when I figured out real estate was my thing. I got into it. I've loved it ever since. Started my team last year, which was really exciting, and recently got into the blogging thing as well, which has been really fun.
Wow, and you just like get published on realtor.org, right? The NAR blog? Or?
Yeah, so I blog for NAR, and then I was just published on Inman.com.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Really, thank you.
So I'm going to talk about that. Well, let's just talk about it now, and then we're going to get into your nitty gritty in a minute. But like, if someone's listening here, how hard is it for them to start blogging about real estate and get something on the NAR blog or get something on Inman? Like, what did you have to do that?
Honestly, a lot of it is from my social media, specifically the Instagram. A lot of the people that have found me to get on the blogs were from Instagram. So before NAR and Inman, I was also featured on a webinar with Realtor.com, and they had been following me on Instagram for a while, which I didn't realize. So a lot of it is because of the social media. You know, you build a presence on there, you get a lot of people that follow you, you put out good content, and then you have these bigger websites, especially NAR and Inman, that find you and they like what you're doing and they want you to be a part of their thing as well. So I owe it to social media.
Wow, that's great. So, all right, so let's talk about some of your nitty gritty. So, how many houses have you sold in the last 12 months, would you say?
I was at 35 sales last year.
Okay. And what was your ECI on that, your ego commission income?
I had my first six-figure year last year, which was very exciting.
Congratulations. That's 2 years in the business. You would have probably never made that as a math teacher, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, no. Yeah, it was very exciting. It was a great year.
So, tell me, I mean, that's a pretty big, thing. You get in the business, you make $100,000, especially Cleveland, Ohio. It's not like you're Beverly Hills, right? What's your average sale price? We're
about 200,000, 200 to 250, maybe even down to 150 to 250.
So how many houses did you have to sell?
Well, last year it was 35 sales. I had a range. Yeah, I had quite a range as far as price points, from 100 to 400, 450 maybe.
No, but that's great because basically 3 houses a month, second year in the business. I guess the big question is, how did you do that?
Honestly, again, I owe a lot of it to the social media thing. It has changed my business. A third of what I sold was Instagram alone. And
wait a minute, a third of the houses you sold were Instagram alone. Now there's a lot of people listening to this going, there's plenty of people coming on here talking about Facebook
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's ways to do Facebook, promote yourself, but you know, a lot of people don't come on and talk about Instagram, right, as a way to develop business. So why don't we stop for a minute and dig deep into the meat and potatoes of how to. So if someone's listening out there, driving down a road, they pull over the side and write down the things that Rebecca says about like how to start a presence and start getting business on Instagram. Can you do that?
Absolutely. So I'll be honest, the Instagram thing started as a hobby. I love real estate and I also have a love for photography. So I started it to showcase both of those. I didn't want to annoy my friends on my personal one. And it quickly turned into a huge business avenue for me. You know, the biggest thing is the consistency with it. I try to post once a day. There are days where I just can't if I'm too busy or maybe if I don't have something I want to post. But being really consistent with it and showing people that you are busy and that you love what you do and you're passionate about it is really the key. The other thing that I tell people is to really engage with other people. So like their posts, comment on their posts, share their posts, talk to them. I message back and forth with a ton of agents around the country that I've networked with. In fact, I just got a listing last week, a $400,000 listing from an agent I networked with on Instagram. So I'm just going to throw her a referral fee, 25%.
Okay,
And,
so wait a minute. So this agent followed you on Instagram just because she somehow saw you, right?
correct.
You don't know how she started following you, right?
I don't. I would assume it's just with the big following, and you know, a lot of agents, they try to find other agents on there to connect with for that reason, for the referrals. So it's kind of, you know, also the hashtags are huge. If you search realtor hashtag, you'll come across all the agents that.
Do you think she did just searched hashtag realtor Cleveland, Ohio and found you that way?
Could have been. It really could be any sort of way. I like a lot of posts, so she could have seen me liking other people's posts. As far as me finding other agents, I do like to use the hashtags to find them. I also see them liking other people's posts. So there's quite a few different ways to get, you know, your name out there and for people to find you on Instagram.
How many followers do you have now?
I want to say I have 11,200.
Yeah, actually, that's a trick question because I just pulled it up. Yeah, you have 11,200.
Okay.
You know, it just says Rebecca Donatelli, Cleveland Realtor, ABR SRS.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at it now, and you got, you know, you're posting houses of, you know, photos of houses with solds. And then let's talk. What you post once a day. What do you decide to post?
It really depends on the day. I don't post all my sold properties, but occasionally I'll pick one that I like. I'm very particular about how my photos look. So if you go through my profile, you'll notice I have a lot of bright colors and, you know, things like that. So let's say I'm out showing a house and I like the way the house looks, but it's a gloomy day. I probably won't post it. I have a specific way I want my profile to look. So it just depends on the day. I try to post some behind the scenes stuff. I try to post listings. It just depends on what I'm doing and if I feel it's a good post.
So like these memes, like you have coffee and real estate and you know, good vibes only. Do you just write those yourself or do you find them on other people's or what?
Some of them I write myself. Some I find that other people post. I've seen a couple on Pinterest that I liked. So it just depends on the day. If I want to put out some kind of a positive quote, I don't do a lot of those, but occasionally I'll throw one in, and people love that kind of stuff. You know, they love the positive vibes and the energy, and you know, giving them something to look at to maybe help their day out, or maybe they're having a bad day and just kind of seeing something like that. So I post those sometimes, but mostly I try to stick with things that are real estate related if I can.
So like what type of posts get you the most likes?
Usually my solds, and recently with the blogging, the blogs that I post, I've been getting quite a bit of activity on those.
Okay, so let's move to that, right? Like talk to me about the blogging. Like how do you do it? Where do you put it? How do you come up with what to say? You know, how do you add it to Instagram? Tell me, spell it out like a third grader can understand, so that if someone listening wants to write a blog right now and put it on Instagram or get it out there and viral, what do they do?
Sure. So as far as coming up with something to write about, I just think about things that are relevant in my business. So the first one I did for NAR was dominating social media for your real estate business.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you can think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. So you got 11,000 followers, and then they reached out to you and said, we need someone to write an article about dominating media for agents?
No, so I essentially get to pick what I want to write about. So that was just what I chose to write about first because I do use it so much. I'm also planning a webinar that I'll be hosting on utilizing Instagram for your real estate business. I'm hoping to do that next month. So that just seemed like the best place for me to start because I get people that ask me almost daily, what are you doing? How do you get so many followers? Like, what do you know what to post? So I thought that was a great place to start as far as what to blog. And especially focusing on the Instagram side of things, because like you said, most people are on Facebook and they might not understand how to utilize Instagram to get business. You can really only post pictures. And so people sometimes have a hard time understanding how those pictures can turn into leads. So I thought that that first post on dominating social media for your real estate business was a great place to start for my first blog with them.
Okay. Well, it makes sense. And that's where your area was. I mean, that's where your expertise is. Okay. Mm-hmm. So were you writing blogs before you started writing for Inman and Realtor, or did they come at the same time?
I had tried to start blogging on my own maybe a year and a half ago or so. And I had just gotten so busy, I kind of pushed it off to the side. It hadn't really gone anywhere. I hadn't really promoted the blog to where I was getting a lot of activity on it. But I've always really enjoyed writing, and I just hadn't had a chance to write something that I really enjoyed that would get a lot of visibility. So the Inman and NAR kind of just happened at one time. So now I'm trying to keep up with it. It's hard because they each want about one blog a month. Okay. So with the market and my team and other things that I'm working on, it's definitely a lot, but I do enjoy it. And once I find a topic that I really want to write about, I can usually knock out one of my blogs in a day and get it posted.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Now, how did you get 11,000 followers? First of all, do you use any tools that help elevate that number? And if so, what are they?
Sure. So I don't buy anything. I don't use any of the offers or anything like that can help you get followers. I like to do it organically because the way that I feel about it is if there are real people on there, that's the only way you're going to get business. You're not going to get business from fake followers or things that you buy that I don't know, people that exist or however that works. But I do it organically. And I tell people, again, the consistency and the engagement is what's going to grow your profile. If you're posting things that are relevant, that people say, oh, I can relate to that, or oh, look at that house, or wow, that's really cool you're doing that. The followers just come, and then people follow you, and then other people see that they followed you and they follow you. And
So by organically, what would the steps be? Like, what if I'm listening and say, okay, I want to build my Instagram account to 11,000 like Rebecca organically. What should I do?
When I first started, I just started posting pictures, and I started following a ton of people. I would follow other agents on there, and I would follow a lot of Cleveland
So
people
okay. So you would search Cleveland and search real estate agent.
Right, using the hashtags.
Using the hashtags.
Correct. Yeah. So anyone that used the hashtag Cleveland, their posts will pop up, and I can go through those and follow people that are in Cleveland, or a lot of the big businesses in Cleveland. I follow a lot of them. Actually, from following them, I got a client who works for Channel 19 just from following, some of those Instagram profiles. Following other people and letting them know who you are is the first part of really building a big following. And once you do that, getting your posts on there, posting things that are relevant that people like, that's what really starts to build it. And from there, it just, as long as you keep up with it, and like I said, you interact with people. I have people messaging me almost every day, agents, people in Cleveland, people that want to get into real estate, all kinds of messages, interacting with them. The followers just continue to build.
So people follow you back because reciprocity, right? She followed me. I'm going to follow her back. Then do you reach out and just say, hey, I'm in Cleveland. If you know anybody that needs to buy or sell a house, keep me in mind? Or what do you do? Like, how do you
I actually don't do that. I like to let my profile kind of speak for itself, because, if I follow people from Cleveland, then I reach out to them that, hey, I'm in real estate, they say, okay, I don't really care. I might not want to follow you anymore. But if honestly, that's how people think.
Yeah.
I try to let my profile speak for itself, and I want people to connect with me on both a professional level and a personal level. I post stuff in there that I'm doing that might not be real estate related, so they can see I actually have a life outside of real estate. But connecting with them that way and building the trust with them is the most important thing. I've never tried the messaging thing. I've done it on LinkedIn, but Instagram, I haven't really done that. And I haven't really needed to do it because, like I said, the profile kind of speaks for itself. People find interest in what I'm posting about, and then they usually contact me if they need something as far as real estate.
Okay. And it just flows. Okay. Well, let's do this live. First of all, what's your Instagram handle?
So it's at RebeccaDonatelli.realtor, and Donatelli is spelled Donatelli.
So everybody follow her and listen, and I'm going to put all of that in your show notes as well. But let's take a picture now. You take one of the screen and I'll take one of the screen, and we'll both tag each other on Instagram here.
Okay, let's see here.
So how can we do this and get our faces? Okay, ready?
Can you see my phone?
Oh, yeah.
Did we get it?
I got it. So I think we got some there. Okay, cool. So,
awesome.
All right. So now let's talk about other ways that you're getting your business. So you got a third from Instagram. Talk to me about the other 2/3.
Sure. So I do a lot of networking. I look at every face-to-face interaction with someone as a potential business transaction. I really try to meet as many people as I can. I have joined a lot of committees, so I'm part of the Alumni Committee Association, I should say, from where I went to school. I am part of the National Epilepsy Association. I attend their events. I go to the local wine nights in my, in my neighborhood, and I meet all the neighbors. There are events downtown in downtown Cleveland. I go to as many of those. I just try to meet as many people as I can. And when I have conversations with them, I make sure they're not real estate related, because I don't want them to feel like I'm pushing the real estate thing on them and I'm just giving them a sales pitch, essentially. But the thing about it is when people find out you're in real estate, it's like people love talking about real estate. So I always get asked about my business, and that's when I can kind of tell them a little bit about myself on the business side of things. I tried pushing the real estate thing when I first started, and I just realized it almost scared people away. So I just try to make friends with as many people as I can, and they have turned into clients and then referrals.
And how do you, and so do you just say to them, hey, what's your IG? Or do you stalk them later and type in their name and hope they're there?
A lot of people actually then find me. Somehow the Instagram thing for my business comes up. My husband loves talking about it to other people too. So he kind of brings it up and then they end up following me. But I mean, yeah, connecting on social media so they can see what I'm doing as well is huge. And then I connect with all of my past clients and pretty much everybody that I know. And
it helps, I guess. It helps, I guess, if you get business cards, right? If you collect business cards, if you don't, then you have to remember their first name and last name, which you always think you will. But then at the end of the night, you're like, damn, what was that person's name again?
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. I try to collect more cards than I give. I mean, I always have cards on hand, but I try to get people's business cards or just their information if I can, because yeah, they might have my card, but they might not think about reaching out or they might forget. So at least if I can have their information, I can reach out and just follow up with them and turn them into potential business.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. And I think it's just like anything in life, right? If you want to do it right, you have to consciously take the time to do it. And so if you sit home every night or the next morning or whatever with a stack of business cards and you add them on social media, right, one at a time, I mean, that's a lot more than most people do, right? You know,
yeah.
I mean, and then the social media speaks for itself, like you said. At that point, you just let it speak for yourself. You post sold, you post I love real estate or coffee and real estate or whatever, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, like I said, everyone's on social media these days, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or, you know, LinkedIn on more of a professional side of things, but everyone's on there on any sort of platform, even if they don't use it that much. So having a presence on there, connecting with them. In fact, I have gone through some expired listings and found these sellers on Instagram, and I'll connect with them on Instagram and not bombard them with myself, but kind of show them that I'm big in Cleveland. And you'd be surprised what that can do for your business, even just to get your name out there.
Well, it's kind of intimate in a sense, like there's a bunch of people from the outside that are calling them, right? And being like, oh, list with me. And then all of a sudden, because you're probably the only one, right, that connected with them on Instagram, this random realtor connects with you on Instagram, which is kind of, it's a personal format, right? And through reciprocity, you're like, okay, I'll follow her back. Then you follow her back and you see that she's got 11,000 followers and that she's posting stuff about real estate that says sold. And then all of a sudden it's kind of like, I know Rebecca, but I don't know these other guys that are calling me saying, you know, list with me. It's kind of like, even though they don't, right? There's no real difference, but it's kind of like you've reached this connection with them that just because you're Instagram friends with them, right? Am I making any sense?
No, absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. Like I said, I try to build trust in people based on my posts and then engaging with them. I try to show them both my real estate side of things and then me on a personal level, to where they can kind of build a trust in me and want to work with me, or at least want to chat with me about something, as opposed to just being a voice on the phone. I mean, don't get me wrong. I call the expireds as well and call for sale by owners and do all of those things. But the Instagram thing does set me apart. They can see who I am. They can see what I do. They can see what kind of following I have and how much I love the business and how passionate I am about it. So it is something that does set you apart, even if it doesn't necessarily get you all the expired listings. They will remember you that way.
And now a word from Rockstar agent and Rebus University graduate, Mr. Jeff Quinton.
Hello, my name is Jeff Quinton, and from Keller Williams, the Quinton Group. I service all of southern New Jersey, and our expansion team is in the Philadelphia greater Philadelphia area. And just wanted to give a shout out to Rebus University, Pat Hyman and his crew. My team, what we've implemented right now is through our onboarding process, we have a learning management system called Learning Zen. And inside Learning Zen, in the very first 14 days when someone comes on our team, they have to go through and learn all the sales skills and sales training. And part of that is we require everybody to go through the Rebus University Certified Listing Agent course. And at the end of that, they've got to prove and got to come out and show us their certificate before they even get on the phone, before they even meet with a client, before they go out on any listing presentation. So what's interesting is that through this course, it's allowed me to leverage my time versus what it used to be, where I'd have to show them all of the listing presentations, spend time each individual, for 20 minutes at a time or 30 minutes at a time. So now I can leverage it through the Certified Listing Agent course and then go back and role play with them what they've learned. So what I've learned right now is that when an agent goes through this course, they feel confident. And that's the key, is the confidence is so built because they've been able to see someone else do it and then they practice it. And what's interesting is I've had so many agents. In fact, I've had over 20 agents go through this course and become certified. And a major portion of them go out on listing appointments when they're competing with another top agent and they actually win the listing on the first try. The skills, the techniques, the dialogues, and everything that they get from this course. It's pretty incredible.
If you want the same amount of listings and the same extremely high close ratio that Jeff Quinton's agents get, just type in the coupon code CLA50 on rebusuniversity.com. That's REBUS university.com for, get this, 50% off the Certified Listing Agent course. That's CLA50. You won't regret it. You could potentially do this with any client. The tricky part is I mean, any client, for sale by owner, anybody that you run into. The thing is, you got to make sure they're on Instagram. Like what percent? Like, first of all, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, so probably a lot more people that you're going to run into at the alumni calls that you're on and that sort of thing are on Instagram. I think I'm 52, so but I'm hip to it because I have kids that are 22 and 21, and
Sure.
and I got hip to it early, and so I think that if I look at friends on Instagram, it might be like 25%, right? Where with you, it's probably a lot higher, right?
It is. I mean, my main market has become the young professional, people that are my age. They're how many years out of college and just starting to look for a home to buy. They're first-time home buyers. And yeah, I mean, because most of my clients are around my age, most of them are on the social media outlets like Instagram and Facebook, so where it makes it easier for me to connect with them and showcase my business. I mean, I definitely have clients that are not young professionals, and I've kind of connected with them in a different type of way. But my crowd that I've become, known for working with, a majority of them are on there to where it does help me out a lot.
Yeah, and it's not to say that, hey, if you're not in that age bracket, not to try to see if people are on there, because you never know if someone's going to be on there. But
Absolutely.
You should always look, and if they're on there, bingo, even better, because if you're 45 and you're on Instagram, not everybody that they know is going to be on Instagram. So if you're the realtor that connects with them on Instagram, it's even more of a connection.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, it is. I mean, I try to look for as many people as I can. All my past clients I've searched, people that they know I connect with. I mean, just connecting with as many people as you possibly can is the key to really utilizing your profile the best that you can.
The cool part about it is if you think about it, right? In the traditional way of doing business, you'd sell a house and then you create a just sold card that you'd mail out to everybody. You might mail it out to your past clients. You might not. But here, you're not mailing anything out. You're just posting your solds on Instagram, and all your clients, all your past clients, are seeing a little house with a sold on it that says, hey, I just sold another one. And it's almost like considered an art form. Like it's your post for the day. You know what I mean? And they're like, okay, and it didn't cost you any money.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of Instagram. It's totally free. I mean, same for Facebook and LinkedIn, obviously, but it's totally free. You can post as much as you want. You can have as many followers as you want. That's the beauty of it. So, and you're right. I mean, I do the just sold postcards to do them. I also have a QVC code on mine, so I can track leads if they scan them.
But say that again. How's that work?
So the just sold postcards, they have a scan on them. So people can take their phone, they can scan it, and if they're interested in knowing their home value or something like that, I receive their name and address to where I can reach out to them. And then if they put their email and phone number in, that's even better for me, that I can call them and email them if they're interested in listings. I've gotten a couple of listings that way.
So then you put the QR code, the little box, the funny box?
Yes. So they come, it's like a jumbo postcard. It's bigger than your average postcard. And it has my picture on it. It has the house that I sold, the address. And then it says interested in knowing your home value. And they can scan that and I get their information.
Instantly, or does it just take them to a website where they have to fill out the info?
I instantly get their information. Now, if they want to fill out their name their phone number and email to where they're really interested, then I will get that as well. And so I'll be able to reach out to them. I've sent packages in the mail. I literally go on their door and knock. And
how does it instantly get their information? Like what? They take it from their contact and their phone, or like how does scanning the QR code?
I'm not sure on the back end of things how it works. I know I get it instantly with their name and
who do you
their
do that
address.
through?
It's Quantum Digital.
Quantum Digital. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
So if you have questions, go to Quantum Digital. What I'll do is I'll put a link to the Quantum Digital on Rebecca's show notes as well.
Yeah,
wow.
They're awesome.
Okay,
so,
cool.
But you're right, as far as the Instagram doing more than those sold postcards. In fact, my clients, they see me posting other people's sold and they say, hey, you sold my house. Can you post one for me? And they get really excited about that. And, they like me to tag them and they love having their home posted on my page. And then I also have, if you go through some of my posts, I have a sign that I had made. In fact, I have it here. Let me grab it.
Sure. Yeah, grab it.
So here's the sign. I'll hold it up so you can see. So it says, Rebecca Donna sold me my dream home. So it's really corny.
Rebecca Donna sold me my dream home. Okay.
Yes. And so what I do is I bring the sign to every closing and my clients stand in front of the door and they hold the sign. And I post I don't post all of them, but I post a lot of them on my Instagram. So now when my clients followed me on my Instagram when they close, I have a lot of them that say, did you bring your sign? Can you take a picture with your sign and post it? I've had some girls that are like, I just did my hair for your Instagram. So that's the beauty of it. They love that stuff. They eat it right up and it works and it's free. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. And then they look forward to it, right?
Exactly.
So what are the best hashtags for real estate agents to use?
So my top hashtags are real estate is the most obvious. Realtor is another one. For me personally, I use Cleveland. Obviously, I want to showcase to people in my area. Dream home is another one that people like. Photography is a huge one. There's millions of posts with the hashtag photography. Obviously, it doesn't pertain specifically to real estate, but it will reach a lot of people. Those are probably the biggest ones as far as real estate goes. And then based on what you're posting, you can add things. So if I post a listing, I can say hashtag listing agent, or maybe if I'm doing an open house, I can do hashtag open house. So it just depends on what you're doing. I have kind of become known as this realtor in Cleveland who loves coffee because I always drink coffee. I always have it with me. And half my posts end up having coffee in them because I just drink so much of it. So I'll put hashtag coffee and add that to my post. So
Life is funny, right? You know, people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to look up people drinking coffee. You
but
know?
that's what they
Oh,
do.
here's a realtor in Cleveland drinking coffee. Let me follow her. You know?
Yes, I mean, that's what people do. And in fact, I had last year, I was tagged in a post from another realtor. She posted a picture of her laptop with some coffee sitting next to it. Her caption was something like, oh, I'm so excited to work with these new clients. I'm getting them set up online. And her second sentence was, at Rebecca.Donatelli.realtor, this post makes me think about you. And so she's always going to call me.
And you've never met her, nothing. You don't know anything.
I've never
about some
met her.
random
I don't
realtor.
know. Yes. And so if she ever has someone in Cleveland, she's going to call me first.
And she has a connection. Realtors who like coffee, you know?
Exactly. So I kind of use that to my advantage almost because I love my coffee, but it also kind of makes me stand out in a weird way. So.
Yeah. You know, I remember this quote from this movie. I can't even remember the name of the movie, but it was like, people don't like people like them. They like people with similar likes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing, right? I like coffee and I like real estate. So, you know, I'm going to follow Rebecca.
There you go.
I like Cleveland, or, you know what I mean? We like the same team, or, you know,
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
we like
what
Instagram, whatever.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, and again, I didn't try to make that happen. It just kind of happened, but you just got to roll with it. I mean, I use it to my advantage. She's going to call me when she's got someone in Cleveland, and then I'll call her, and you build that referral network, or you build with people that are in your neighborhood. So that's what's great about Instagram. You know, you can kind of build your brand and set yourself apart while being similar to other people, like you said.
What other technology are you using now that's exciting? Apps or software, anything?
Yeah, so I don't really use a lot of software per se. I mean, I have, you know, my CRM systems, and I, you know, do a lot on my computer, but mostly everything I do is mobile. I'm constantly at appointments in and out, so I have to have everything handy with me.
What do you use?
So I'll pull up some of my apps right here. So one of my favorites is a photo editing app that I'll talk about because I get a lot of people that ask me about this. It's called Snapseed. It has a green little leaf. I'll try to
Snapseed.
post it up here. I don't know if you can see it.
Okay, yeah, Snapseed. Yeah.
Snapseed. It's a free app. I edit a lot of my photos on there, so that's one that I love to use. I do a lot on LinkedIn, so that's another app that I always have with me. I mean, I don't do as much of the fun posts as I do on Instagram because it's just a different outlet. But I do a lot on there as well. I have, let's see, some of my real estate apps. I have Slidial, which I really like. If I want to call someone but don't want to talk to them, I leave them a message and they can call me back.
It's great. And then you have no limitation. A lot of people are like, I used to do this all the time. I used to be like, I'm going to call this person, and then I would put in a limiting belief, like they're not awake yet, or it's too late, right? Like you set these barriers. Is 9 o'clock too late? Is 8 o'clock too late? Is 8 in the morning too early? And if you have Slidial, you slide dial them and just leave a message, and it doesn't matter what time it is. It could be 4 in the morning. You can slide dial them, right?
Exactly. Their phone doesn't ring, so you can leave messages. You can also call multiple people and leave them the same message. Let's say you have a list of leads that you're wanting to follow up with, and you want to leave them kind of a generic voicemail. You can reach all of them at one time, which is great. So I love that app. I actually found out about that app at one of the OAR conventions that I went to, I think 2 years ago. And then I have a CAM scanner, which is my online scanning thing. I'm always signing docs everywhere that I go, but I might need to, you know, submit them to another agent or something on the go. Those are the main apps that I use. I mean, I'm on my email constantly 24/7. But really my social media, my email, and then those other couple ones that kind of help my business on the side.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Rebecca, this has been really fun. I hope that the day this comes out, you get 1,000 more followers. I'm going to watch you and see. Wait till you get to see watch it increase. But listen, everybody that comes on the show brings a free gift, right? And what we do with these free gifts is, number one, we put them in your show notes, which I'm going to just make this easy. I'm going to do hibandigital.com/Rebecca D. D like dog, right? Rebecca D. And we'll put it in your show notes, but then we also put it in our toolbox, which you can get with hibandigital.com/toolbox or texting the word toolbox to 444-999. What's your free gift you're going to bring to everybody today, Rebecca?
Sure. So I have two things. One, I would love people that, we talked about getting going on the Instagram thing. The blog that I did on dominating social media is a great place to start. So I really encourage people to go there. It's on the NAR website. There's a section in there called the YPN Lounge, and that's where the blogs are at. And the other thing,
what we can do is make it a PDF, and that way people can just get it. Yeah,
absolutely. Download it, read it. Yep. And the other thing, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is I will be doing a webinar on using social media for your business. I will try to focus mostly on the Instagram thing. I'm hoping to make it a series, but for now I have one planned. I will be doing it next month, and once I have the date figured out, I will post that as well. So I would encourage people to get on the webinar. It's free, and I'll have a lot of good stuff.
You're going to record it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the easiest thing, we could put a recording of it too in your show notes.
Absolutely.
Link there. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I've had a lot of people ask me. So once I figure out the date and time, I'll let you guys know, and then we'll post it once I have it recorded.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been so much fun.
My pleasure. If I'm ever in the Cleveland, Ohio area, I will look you up and we can break some bread.
Absolutely. Would love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Estate Rockstars. If this free content is giving you a ton of value, I want to ask a small favor in return. I need you to pull out your pointing finger and hit the subscribe button. Yes, hit subscribe, please. The more subscribers that we get on Real Estate Rockstars, the better guests are attracted to the shows. We'll get more guests from the top companies, from the top teams, and even more celebrity guests like Robert Kiyosaki and Barbara Corcoran. Also, if you're not a member of our free Facebook group, go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio right on Facebook and join the conversation. I'm on there myself on FaceTime Lives, and we have a lot of communications and questions about the show, and I'd love to see you there. And it's free. People ask me all the time, where am I on social media? I'm real easy to find. Just type in my name. My IG is I am Pat Hiban. It is blowing up on Instagram, adding tons of subscribers, and I'm on there probably twice a day. So definitely follow me on Instagram, as well as everywhere else. Thanks again for listening, and keep rocking.